come here every game means that I'm, part of something.
It brings families together.
Popping once, now throwing long down the left side. Slaughter has it. He's going in for a touchdown. The ball will win the game.
Burning, 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 burning.
Throwing deep down the left side. Slaughter is open. He got the ball in the 5-yard line.
My first Browns game against the Raiders. It's awesome. All the people are really cool here. We're from Toronto, Canada. We come down every year, one big trip. It's a great tailgate, and we have a fantastic time.
Just walking to school shouldn't be a survival skill.
Happy was just my leg.
Serious accidents near schools happen more than you think.
I was like, am I dead?
To find out just how many, our investigation analyzed police crash reports, national highway safety studies, plus crash data obtained from the Ohio Department of Transportation. We tracked every crash near every school in 8 counties surrounding Cleveland. We found 370 crashes last year involving pedestrians or bicyclists within just a quarter mile of schools. 279 injuries, 4 deaths.
Kid got hit by a car? Yeah.
And just last month,
I went to walk and I turned on the car right there.
Riley Edmonds was run over on the very first day of school.
If people see it and they say, wow, okay, this is really serious. I'm lucky that my son's sitting next to me right now.
In Ohio, children often walk up to a mile. So how can parents know where danger zones are waiting?
This is something you're never ever prepared for in any way, shape, or form. And the devastation and the trauma.
We created this interactive map. More pins, more crashes. And the longer the walk, the greater the risk. More than 1,000 involving pedestrians or bicycles last year, within just a mile of schools. 921 injured, 16 died, including this 5-year-old on his way to school.
We need to do something about that.
Nationwide, 53 children are injured every day just walking. Last year, 490 under age 19 were killed. And the trend for teens is increasing. Kate Carr is president of Safe Kids Worldwide, a Washington, D.C. group that tracks crashes involving children.
And those numbers are going up because more and more kids have cell phones or they have some type of device where they can be distracted by the music or the conversation or the texting that they're doing.
And what we found in our investigation can be used to make crash zones safer.
Well, I want to congratulate you for the work that the station is doing to create this information map that will help parents and kids know where the danger zones are.
Here in Ohio, our mapping will be used in the Safe Routes for Schools program. It pays for things like pedestrian traffic signals, ramps, and bridges. Each year, the Ohio Department of Transportation gives away $4 million for schools where children are at risk.
These pinpoints that you've put on this map, they're good for us to look at. From the engineering perspective, we can look at where these pinpoints are and we can say, hey, let's look at that area.
And it could help save a child's life.
Don't watch out because kids are back in school and they'll be walking in.
December 14th, 2012, one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history.
We have established a point of entry. It was, I can tell you, it's believed he was not voluntarily let into the school at all, that he forced his way into the school, but that's as far as we can go on that.
Even though front doors were securely locked, what happened in Newtown has raised new concerns about school security across the country and right here in Ohio. Our 5 on Your Side investigation spent a full week surveying elementary schools like Sandy Hook. We inspected 25 schools in 6 counties, all across Northeast Ohio. And we checked every front door to see just how secure they are. In every case, we found doors securely locked. But school safety experts who have recently completed similar surveys warn that's not always the case.
We're still finding a significant number of those schools you can walk in the front door and elsewhere. And the question isn't whether we can get in those schools today, but 6 months or 6 years down the road, will we still have that level of security that you found in your investigation?
Ken Trump founded one of the leading school safety programs in the country.
But we also have to prepare for day-to-day security issues, non-custodial parent issues at elementary schools, angry parents or persons who do come in the front doors legitimately and have frustrations and ill intentions inside.
And some schools protect children by employing off-duty cops as school resource officers, or SROs. Sergeant David Nahr is a regional representative with the state's SRO Association.
I'm sure there's still schools out there that are not as secure as the local law enforcement would like to see them.
It's unfair and it's unjust, and it made me lose a lot of faith in the justice system.
Amanda Sloan went from a teenage girl honored for working with disabled children.
They still would want to give you a hug and just be happy to be there and be on that horse, and it put things in perspective.
To something she never dreamed would happen to her.
I was a virgin. I was never interested in dating because I was so involved with everything else.
Once recognized with this citation from Ohio's legislature for making the world a better place, Amanda's world was shattered.
He took me into the field and made me take my clothes off, lay on the ground, covered my face, and he raped me.
The man who raped Amanda has never been found.
I had nightmares for a couple months. There were nights that I would not fall asleep until the sun came up.
But what's inside a box like this could identify him.
What happened to your rape kit?
I have no idea. As far as I know, it's still sitting in a box in the police department somewhere.
Rape kits contain DNA evidence. It's obtained from victims in the hours after an assault, and it can instantly identify suspects whose DNA is already on file. Our 5 on Your Side investigation obtained a computer database of rape kits across Ohio and gained rare access to Ohio's crime lab. We found more than 2,000 rape kits across Ohio went untested for years.
It's not fair to them to never have closure and not have the person that did that to them be punished, or at least get them off the streets so they can't continue to do it to other people.
They'd been sitting in police department evidence rooms because there was often no funding for testing. Now that's changing. Under a program launched by Ohio's Attorney General, those kits have now been turned over to forensic scientists here at the state crime lab for testing. They include nearly 1,000 untested rape kits from Cleveland, 207 from Akron, 58 from Lorain, and 48 more from Lakewood. Attorney General Mike DeWine believes rapists will be identified.
I can almost guarantee you that we're going to solve some crimes and find out some things that's very, very valuable to protect the public.
But it's been nearly a year.
Nothing ever works as fast as I want it to work.
And we found only 479, roughly 25%, have been fully tested. Why?
What I didn't want to do is take these back rape kits, dump them into our system without any new people, and create a bigger backlog for a rape that had committed 5 days ago, and when we were very actively seeking to find out who that person was.
Behind locked bars, we found prison inmates claim nearly $4 billion in fraudulent IRS refunds. It includes 186,000 phony claims filed in 2011, the latest figures released by the Inspector General for Tax Administration. Jackie Reardon.
It happens every filing season.
He's a former IRS criminal investigator.
Once you've actually gotten money, gotten a refund for a fellow inmate, word spreads pretty quickly that, you're the person to go to.
Inmates like Brandon Mace, while locked up inside the state prison in Lorain, Mace claimed a whopping $5.5 million in phony refunds over 2 full years. The IRS sent one check to a post office box Mace created. John Siegel is a federal prosecutor.
He had timed it so he could pick it up after he got out of prison. He got out of prison. By the time he got there, the post office had sent the check back, and it was a $207,000 check IRS had, the Treasury Department had issued, and fortunately it went back and he never got the money.
Siegel also prosecuted Michael Murdoch, a convicted killer.
There were 77 returns claiming about $83,000. There were another 20 returns which were about to go out.
Ronald Wells was also serving time for murder. The IRS sent Wells refund checks totaling more than $56,000.
They just made up an amount of purported wages, an amount of purported withholding, and hey, IRS, give me back that withholding you took out.
In 2009 alone, more than 1,400 Ohio inmates filed fraudulent claims. So how easy is it? We reached Dwayne Selvey inside the federal prison, where he's locked up again after violating parole.
It was about one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life.
Selvey claims he spent years ripping off taxpayers to the tune of nearly $4 million, right from his jail cell tax office.
When I first started off, I didn't even use a W-2 form. I just used a piece of paper and wrote down like I was the owner of the company.
And lived it up after being released.
A few Cadillac Escalades was bought, a couple lake homes. Well, I probably spent $50,000 just on clothes and stuff.
We found the IRS was first warned back in 2005. It needs to do more to stop millions in fraudulent refunds, according to this Inspector General report. The agency declined a request for an interview, but just this past February, the Inspector General for Tax Administration issued a new warning. Prisoner fraud remains a significant problem, and found there are still no agreements in place to share prisoner information between prisons and the IRS. Jackie Reardon says sharing information is just one of the problems.
Detecting the schemes really depends upon the cooperation and the information that the IRS receives from the prisons, whether it's the Bureau of Prisons or the state prisons. What makes it difficult is the amount of resources that are actually applied by the IRS to investigating these schemes.
Tonight, inside the FBI probe into Jimmy Haslam.
I don't think I slept at all Friday night.
His company under fire.
Somebody asked me today if I was going to step down as president.
An apology to Cleveland.
The last thing we ever want to do is put any kind of blemish on the city of Cleveland, which we've grown to love, or the Browns.
And a promise to fans.
The fans should not worry. Our family's going to own this asset for a long, long time.
A year after being introduced as the Browns' new owner.
I can't tell you how excited our family is to be part of Cleveland, and more importantly, the Cleveland Browns.
A federal criminal probe is in full swing.
Right from the jump.